Alright, so I'm back. I'm done with the convention, and I actually have a day off now, so we're going to take a look at Mastermind Creations' Rampage. But before we look at him, send him off the back, there's a couple things I wanted to show off with the dive bomb. First off, I didn't show off this. These are the little kind of like chest pieces for Razor Claw that you basically can port underneath the sword to hold on to because there's just no other place to put them in robot mode. But there's two little tabs back here and two little holes right up here. And this little tab here and this little peg right here can just plug right into the back of the wing, and he can hold them back there. The other thing I want to show off is I was doing the foot wrong. Before I was just flipping it around like this and just kind of having it sit on the back all loosely like that. And the reason for that is I was trying to transform it like you would do with the Bovis and Fortis, where you open that up and you try and flip the foot around, and it doesn't have enough clearance to go all the way through. Well, as it turns out, they actually redesigned the foot so you don't even have to worry about that. All you have to do is just flip the whole thing back, and it will lock in really well back there. So that's a lot better than what I had thought. So there's two things. And then the third thing is, I also discovered that although he is still back heavy, if you take the wings and you kind of fold them more in, so that they're like this instead of straight back, he does have a better center of gravity. So it does make me feel a lot better about the figure. I know I gave him a hard time. It's still, like I said, I'm not going to change the rating on him, and he still has some faults that I'm not a huge fan of, but because the feet work better now, and the fact that if you fold the wings in, and that's something I just didn't think of while I was messing with him the first go around, I feel a lot better about him. I think that kind of looks cool, just to have those wings kind of more like that. Having them back like this makes them that, back heavy. It looks cool, but this also kind of looks cool, having them in like this, and then you don't have to mess with those legs and try to get him at a weird angle where he's kind of facing forward just to balance it out. The wings can balance themselves out. So anyway, let's go take a look at Rampage himself. So here he is in his robot mode. Really, really awesome looking. And he does use the same base mold as Dive Bomb, but there are so many differences that it's barely even noticeable. Let's get Dive Bomb back out here. Obviously he doesn't have the wings. Still a little back heavy here. They have completely different molded chest. The core of the chest is different, or is the same, but the chest pieces are different. The heads are different. The shoulders are different. Arms are completely different from the shoulder. The whole arm is different. I think maybe the only thing that's the same is this inside elbow joint. The waist here is the same. It looks like the crotch piece is different. He still has that back piece where you can plug things into. The legs are the same. Kneecaps are different. He's got where the tail comes in. He's got an actual space where he could have the tail. Feet are different. So you can see the shins are the same. Kneecap's different. He's got these side panels that are just kind of smooth, and he's got the side panels that are actually the legs. So, I mean, although they use the same base mold, this is one thing I was worried about, was the fact that, you know, it was said that they're using the same mold for him. And yes, they are. But it's very... I mean, just the very base mold of the figure is the same. Everything else is different. Weapons. He comes with the 2 pistols, which are really cool. I really like these. And again, you know, it's a square peg, round hole, so at certain angles it won't hold it, but if you put it straight in, he holds it pretty well. And unlike the rifle, it doesn't seem to fall out as easy. So that's awesome. Yeah, I really wish they would have came with the G1 accurate swords, but the guns, I prefer these little pistols and stuff. Yeah, even Dive Bob's rifle is awesome. I mean, the only one I really don't like is Fortis's little arm cannon things. Excuse me. He also comes with these swords. Or knives, I guess. And unlike, the other ones, he doesn't have that weird thing where you have to put it in at an angle. These ones can just slot right in. And that's really, really nice. I really appreciate that a lot. I prefer this as opposed to having to wedge him in at an angle and break off the thumb like I did with poor Bobus. But yeah, it works, and it's better than dive bombs, which dive bombs were almost as good as this, but they have a little bit of a bump at the end. That's kind of hard to get around, but not nearly as bad. So that's really cool. So, pushing his accessories there off. He also comes with, and Dive Bomb came with these too, and I didn't show these off. Let's see, he's got a plastic bag, so if you have a small child, make sure that they don't play with that. But if you have a Transformer you don't like, you can bag them up. He comes with the card. And he comes with these elbow joints, which I'm assuming are for Bobus and Fortis, because I know a lot of them were having issues. Mine, I have yet to see an issue on those, so as far as I'm concerned, mine work just fine. So, whatever. And then he also comes with this completion kit. So we'll open this up. I actually haven't opened this up yet. Instructions on how to use the completion kit. Just real quick, simple instructions. And basically these things will fit into the forearms. Let's get Bobus out here. And basically all you gotta do, let's see here, is there some way to put them on? I guess you take it's that little groove section is facing up, and you'll take like a knife or whatever you want, and you can just slot them in there, and now they have little inside wrist things. There are 2 sets of the blades, 2 sets of these missile bombs, and 2 sets of these little blaster things. It's appreciated. It's not something that I'm going to be using, really. I don't really see a purpose to them, quite frankly. I mean, yeah, it does fill in this little gap right there, but, who cares? Maybe we can just... No, that's not going to work. I might plug them into like the forearms here, just to give them a little extra weaponry. But that would be just about all there is that I'm going to do with it. Let's send him off. He also comes with, let's see, these two little pieces here. A hard time getting this thing open. There we go. Comes with a different face with red paint for the visor instead of the yellow paint that he's got. I kind of prefer the yellow. It stands out, yeah, but cartoon had the yellow face, so I might just stick with that. And then he also comes with this little tiny gold piece that fits onto Razor Claw. So let's see here. It just pegs in up here. Just like pegs in and kind of holds in decently. I might glue that into place. I mean, it looks cool. I do like it. So I mean, it's pretty funny. Other people have mentioned it that it's not like TFC where you have to buy like a $50 upgrade kit to complete it. But quite frankly, they're so minor little things that it's more or less just an overall just look. It's not a function. Also, we'll get Razor Claw back out here. He comes with this big cannon, which can extend. This is for the Predaking cannon, and people have shown him holding it, but it's not really meant for him. It's always been meant for Razor Claw. So you can plug that into his forearm, and now he's got his shield, his swords, and his wrist cannon. My only gripe is the original G1 toy had it mounted on his shoulder, so I kind of wish it was mounted on his shoulder as opposed to his forearm. But I'm not going to complain too much. It's nice, but it's not. It wasn't as necessary. I mean, that piece was necessary, so I guess some of it's just it wasn't necessary, but it does work. All right, now we're already 13 minutes in the video, and I haven't really touched on the figure itself. So for posability, his shoulder ratchets up and down all the way around. No issues there whatsoever. Head is on a ball joint, and it's cut in the back, so I mean you get full range of motion there. Arms can go in and out. There's a swivel at the bicep. Double bend triple bend elbows. There's a pivot here. There's a pivot here, and there's a pivot here. So he's got the most posable elbows I've ever seen in a Transformer. Double bend's impressive, but triple bend, that's something else. Hand is on a swivel, so it rotates around. It also's got a little bit of a give to it for transformation, so you can get a little bit more, up and down poses. Due to the combined mode, he does have an ab crunch. He's got a swivel above the ab crunch and a swivel below the ab crunch, so he's got a double posable waist. Triple if you count the actual ab crunch itself. Hips up and down, in and out. Swivels at the thigh. Bends at the knee. Pretty good bend there. The kneecap is posable, so you can move that up and down. In case he's running, you can kind of angle it so it doesn't break up the aesthetics as much as giant gap. And the foot is on that hinge. that swiveling hinge and the ball joint. And then the toe itself has that bend in it as well. Alright, so let's go to transformation. First thing you want to do is just open up these arms here. You take the hand and you just swivel it in. Close the arms up, and there you go. Do the same thing over here. Just like so. You want to take the shoulders and they slide down. You can rotate them up like so. Take the head and just kind of fold it down, really. And then you take the cat head here and you fold that up. Slide these this chest piece around, just kind of up like that. And that just kind of fills it all in. And then you rotate the cat head around. And it's a little gappy, I guess. Maybe let's try and do it that way. Yeah, that fills it in just a little bit better. It's a little gappy. You can see the robot head underneath, but it's not too bad. Some people have shown it off that make it look really, really bad. Alright. And then you want to take the waist here, rotate it around, flip the little thigh fillers, flip them around to the back, flip the feet around, and they just plug in. Like I was showing you with the dive bomb. This is actually how you're supposed to do them. I tried to do it with the Bovis and Fortis, so you just can't do that same thing. Open it up, and then you can rotate. We rotate this around, and then this will come around and plug in. Trying to make sure that I was doing it in the right order. Last night when I was messing with it, I did it in the wrong order. I did something in the wrong order, and he wouldn't click together. So fold this around, close that up, and then you can take these and just plug them together. Take his tail. And flip the tail out before you do that. And it comes down. There's his tail. And there's a dog sitting outside my door I'm going to let in because she's sick. Come on. Sorry about that. She just wants to come in and lay on the bed. Alright, and then for the back legs, you want to unpeg them from the top. There's a peg joint right here that plugs in, and then there's a peg down at the bottom. So you want to unplug it from the top and the bottom and rotate it around. It gets really tight. It's not something I'm really fond of, to be honest. Then you take this piece here and you fold this back, and then this whole leg assembly will you get down here and you just kind of pull it out and it rotates around, and then you want to reach in and pull out the foot like so. Then you take this piece and you collapse it back up, and you just kind of angle the leg how you want to, rotate the foot around. Do the same thing on this side. So just kind of, like I said, it gets really tight in there and it's hard to rotate it sometimes. You fold this piece back, fold this piece around, reach in, grab that foot, pull it out, rotate the foot around, close this back up, and then we just kind of angle it how we want to. And I like to kind of hinge the back a little bit. And there you have Rampage in beast mode. And he's really, really cool. I really dig this beast mode. It's really dynamic. That waist joint really helps kind of break him up a little bit. And he looks really mean. Back paws are a little small, but at the same time they're not terrible by any means. And they're not as off-putting as, say, razor claws. Razor claws are really off-putting because lions are supposed to have big paws. These animals, tigers, they have a little bit smaller paws in the back than lions do, I think. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I play with toys. If I was a biologist, I probably wouldn't be playing with toys right now. I'd probably be working on some sort of big project. But yeah, so there you go. It's really cool. I really dig this mold. And this sculpt overall works better for him than it did for Dive Bomb. I'm not trying to give Dive Bomb a hard time. I'm just saying my opinion, because that's what you guys are here for. So the head can rotate up and down. You gotta be careful because you can see the robot head down there. It's also on a ball joint, so it gets a good range of motion there. The mouth does open and close. Shoulders, again, are still on that ratchet up and down, in and out, swivels. It's got a double bend elbow that doesn't quite get as much bend as it could. It's got a backwards bend here, but it's not really natural movement there. Foot is on a hinge. Swivels around on the foot, or at the paw, I guess. He's got the waist swivel. Back crunch, because he is a cat. Yeah, that's kind of like a cat pose right there. The back legs are on swivels, so they rotate up and down. They also have a hinge in there, so they can go in and out. Bends at the back at the knee, bends at the backwards knee, and it has a ball jointed foot. Tail has 2 points of articulation, up and down. Nothing really spectacular. And you can take these the knee pads and you can fold them down, kind of cover up this thing if you want to. I kind of just like to leave them up. And that's really all there is to his beast mode. It's pretty cool. A little simple up here. I kind of wish, I really, really wish there was some way to fold that head in somewhere. But yeah, that's really all there is. While we got him in this mode, because it's easier to show off than it is in robot mode, if you flip this panel up here, this is where Dive Bomb would have the connector port. Obviously, he does not have the connector port there. But instead, he's got this little... it's really hard for me to get in there. Just grab a knife here. Flip this out, and he's got this little bomb pack. Or maybe a black matrix. Something like that. And he just kind of ports in there. And you just close it up. Just like so. So it's kind of cool. Using that joint for that instead of a connector joint. But let's get back into robot mode, shall we? Flip this around. Open this up. Rotate the foot around. And you want to take this, fold this in, and then just collapse that all the way in. And then this will just fold around. And then this will come back. And you rotate it around like so. And then just clip it into place. So again, fold this up, rotate the foot around, fold this in, fold this around, like so. Clip this into place, and you want it so that this big port here is going into this plug here. So you rotate this around, and then there's another port back here at the knee of the Tiger that just kind of slots into there once you get into the place. Just give it a good push and you're good to go. Split the legs. Open these panels up. Rotate the leg around. You can take the tail. It just slides down on the inside. Same thing over here. And this will collapse in. Fold around. Fold these thigh pieces out. He's really not that complex at all. He's got more twists and turns than Dive Bomb does, that's for sure. But he's not hard. Slide the chest piece down, and then tiger head down. Rotate that around. Flip the head up. Rotate it back around. This will come down. This will come down. Open this up. You can flip out the hand. The arms are like really, really simple. I mean, seriously, if you can't figure that out, there's something wrong with you. And that's it. Let's see if I can get this head off real quick. There you go. It just pulls off, and then just kind of a metallic red mini head there, and then we can take the other head and we just slot that in. It's got two different shades of red on the face. Let me zoom in on that real quick. And that's not showing off very well, but I mean, it's very clear that this the mouthpiece is just exactly this same head, only painted red, because you can kind of see a bit of the yellow coming out, and it's definitely painted red as opposed to molded red, which is weird. So I honestly do not like it. I appreciate that they added it in, but it doesn't sit well with me. So I'll just take that, and it's cool that you don't have to actually pop that thing off the ball joint to get it back on. So there, we're back to the original face, which was a cartoon accurate face, so that's what I'm going to go with anyway. Alright, so let's do some size comparisons here. Let's see what I mean about the bomb pack being easier accessible in Tiger mode. It's there, but it's all locked in because of the chest piece and the cat head. So let's give him his guns back too. Everybody needs some guns. Alright. So here he is next to the Seeker mold. So he comes up to, let's say just below the tiger head there. And here he is next to the Eye Gear Seeker mold, who's just about a half a head taller than him. So I think he definitely works in this bigger collection style look. And here he is next to an MP car, who he's almost just about a full head taller. So he's taller than the cars. So, when some people say that these things would really work well in a masterpiece collection. I have to disagree with that because they don't look G1 enough to be masterpiece collection. Just like the Eye Gear Seekers, they have no place in a masterpiece collection either. And yeah. So last thing I want to show off while we got him here, let's get a group shot of all the Predacons here. There's Bovis, Rampage. Here is Razorclaw. Dive Bomb. And Headstrong. So there you go. There they all are together. And I really like the way this looks. This is probably my favorite part about the Mastermind Creation set, is the fact that yes, Rampage or Razorclaw is bigger than the rest of them, but not by much. He's about a head taller than the rest of them, and so he's just big enough for it to be like, okay, yeah, he's the leader of the group, but he's not. He's not like towers over them. Even the Unique Toys one was bigger, significantly bigger than the limbs. So I think it really works this way. Just having him a little bit bigger than the rest, and I really like it. I really appreciate the fact that they're able to pull this off without them being so much bigger than one another. I think it really worked out well. So, yeah. Up next, I will be doing the Combinder review, and then I'll do the face off with him, TFC's Rampage and Unique Toys Rampage, which should be interesting because those other two are my favorites. But speaking of him, because that's what this review was really about, even though I kept getting sidetracked with other things that he came with. For rating, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. He is damn near perfect. My only real gripe about him is the fact that the head doesn't hide away very well in Tiger mode. Which means it doesn't really hide away all that well in combined mode either. So it's just got a head sticking out there. But we'll go more into that once we get them all combined. And my lights are really bouncing off this red plastic, really odd colorations. But yeah, and no, he doesn't come with the Decepticon logos. I added those myself, obviously. But yeah, this guy is really awesome. I really dig him. I highly recommend him. He's definitely a character, unlike Dive Bomb. And again, I don't really want to give Dive Bomb too much shit, but at the same time, I have to say it. Unlike Dive Bomb, he is like the other three MMC guys that I honestly would recommend them if they didn't combined. And yeah, he does have a big combiner port in his back, but it doesn't look that bad. Especially if you take his knives here, and you can plug these things in. I like to plug them in like this, because I don't really utilize the knives all that much. You gotta kind of angle them just a little bit, and that really does a good job of kind of covering up that gappy back. And then it's cool having him with the handles of his knives over his shoulders. Definitely gives him more of a menace vibe to him. So I don't know how well that's coming off, but yeah, I really dig him. He's really cool. I highly recommend him. Third-party figures really don't get much better than the Mastermind Creation set here. So that being said, let's get right into the combination of the troops.